Right, so let's talk about a couple of earnings that came through yesterday. The Greenpanel Industries, they reported their numbers. Remember, quarter on quarter, there was an improvement in their margins and their volumes, but year on year, there was some weakness that continued as well. So let's call it a mixed quarter for them. Himanshu Jindal, who's the CFO of the company, now joins in. Thanks a lot, Himanshu, for joining in. As always, the first obvious question, H1, your revenue has been around 724 crores. The same time last year, when you joined in, or rather the last quarter when you joined in, you said you're targeting 1700 crore top line for FY26. So just wanted to know, 1000 crores pending for the next couple of quarters. Are you on track for that? And also, even in the plywood business, where you were looking at nearly 150 crore revenue in this year with 8% margins, you've done about 66 crores in the first half.
So that's right, Mangalam. Let me bring in some perspective as well. I think, the last 3 years, when you look at things holistically, we are in the business for a long term, obviously. You saw us losing market share, our revenues came down. Quarter one was not so different. We again lost market share. Domestic volumes were down, so were exports. So we had a bit of a, how do I say, bad quarter, a tough quarter one. And from there, I think we are coming back sequentially stronger on volumes, driven by our strategy of driving volumes, whether by push or by pull. We're doing all the basics that we can on the domestic front, connecting with our dealers, strengthening teams, reviewing everything again and again, putting up new products, supplementing them with, how do I say, brand campaigns, etc. So all of that is what has led to a sharp recovery, after a long time on our volumes, domestic front, MDF. And this is why you're seeing domestically, we have grown even YOY by actually 31%. Exports is a story which is, is subject to geopolitical pieces. More importantly, you also take a call on what you want to do.
Right. So what does that do to your full year guidance? Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So I think, digesting the quarter one, knowing where we are in quarter two, just to be very optimistic at this point in time, I think we are looking at let me say a high teen growth on sales overall. With a single high digit EBITDA to early double digit kinds of EBITDA this year. Yeah.
Okay, so we have the SIP inflows at around 29,529 crores. So it's similar on a month-on-month basis. Himanshu, sorry for that digression.
Record high. Record high still for them, doesn't matter.
So we just continue to be building in terms of gains on the SIPs. So nothing really to, be deterred about. It's a record high again for the SIP figure, which has come through on a month-on-month basis, just a little higher on a month-on-month. So continuing in terms of momentum, 29,529 crores is what we've recorded. But just getting back, Himanshu, in terms of the conversation, you did say that exports have picked up for you considerably. So just give us a sense in terms of what your export growth was this quarter. Where exactly are you seeing that pick up in terms of geographies? And what is your guidance for the remaining part of the fiscal as well?
I incidentally mentioned my domestic is doing much better, 31%.
Okay. But yeah. I did hear you already spoke about domestic, so I just wanted to touch a little more upon the exports as well.
Exports is an opportunity for us, very honestly. Yeah, it depends on the volumes and the margins, right? It's a filler, yeah. And then there are geopolitical pieces which play out also. So, for example, in quarter one, you saw what happened in Middle East. We supply a lot to Middle East. Therefore, our volumes were hit, right? YOY. Sequentially, we are where we are. We are almost flat, to be honest. Yeah. So for the full year, like I said, counting in exports, counting in domestic, I think domestic should do very well for us. Counting both of these in, I think, like I said, high teen growth is possible this year. Yeah. Please do remember there was a degrowth of 15% in my volumes last quarter in Q1. Yeah. So we are in a way recovering from where we were. It's a tick-shaped recovery. Let's see how we progress during the course of the year.
Sure. Himanshu, just a quick word in terms of net working capital days. They've come down 30 days versus 47 days. How are you seeing utilization, and do you see this net working capital days reduce further from here on in terms of efficiency?
Reducing from here, we'll see. But yeah, right now, I think the consistent endeavor is to basically improve our working capital base, reduce investments, or let me say optimize them in line with sales, right? allow me a few more months and quarters to in this industry, and I'll be able to share more, right? But now, right now, we know that a lot of my peers have been aggressive on credit. We'll see how things go by. I don't want to increase credit, but at the same time, let's see how the equation moves, yeah, and then we'll decide accordingly. Vinny, you should also remember that my balance sheet is super strong. We have very little leverage. We have no fund-based utilizations of our working capital any which way. Right. So all that is my strength, and that is what is going to help me, rebuild and become stronger again. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, all right, Mr. Jindal, we're going to leave it on that note. Thanks very much for joining in and speaking with us. So that's Greenpanel Industries. That stock is down around 2.8%. They're looking at high-teen revenue growth for FY26. Bullish in terms of the domestic growth this time round for the year. We'll take a short break, but up next, we're going to be connecting with Mr. D.K. Saraf, who is the former PNGRB chairperson and former ONGC CMD, as PNGRB has restored APM allocation for CNG transport segment. We're going to be talking about that in just a bit. Stay tuned for that conversation.